Hi and welcome to this two-part Solidworks tutorial for a toy afternoon tea Ferris wheel. In part 1 I'm going to show you how to create the Ferris wheel part for an assembly. Part 2 of this tutorial I will show you how to create a motion analysis of the Ferris wheel assembly. The decals and food parts for this model are available for download in the description below if you'd like to recreate this design. To begin, open a new part. I'm starting with the wheel of the structure. From the centre axis, sketch a 170mm circle onto the front plane and tick the for construction box. Then, using the ellipse sketch tool, draw an ellipse on the top point of the guide circle. It should have a horizontal radius of 7.5mm and a vertical radius of 5mm, making the overall dimensions 15 by 10mm. Delete the guide circle and open the circular pattern sketch tool with the ellipse selected. Change the instances of the pattern to 54 and OK the feature. Use trim entities and delete all the inner sketch. To create the inner design, sketch a 145mm circle, then a 50mm inner circle. Use the centre line from the centre to the top of the outer circle. Then draw a horizontal line at 22.5mm and join it up to the centre. Mirror the two entities from the centre line. Trim away the outer lines, then all the inner lines, leaving the wedge shape. Fillet the sketch corners by 5mm. Use the circular sketch pattern again. Select the centre axis for the perimeter's centre. In the Entities to Pattern box, select the segment sketch and change the instances to 6 and OK the feature. Finally, draw a 16mm circle in the centre of the sketch and extrude this sketch by 6mm. Now, sketching onto the front face of the extrusion, draw a 155mm circle, tick for construction, then draw a centre line from the mid-axis to the middle point of the wheel. Then draw a centre line from the mid-axis to the middle point of the wheel between the cutouts. Then where the points cross each other, draw a 6mm circle. Use the circular sketch pattern again to create 6 equally spaced circles and extrude cut them by 2mm. Sketching onto the cut face and holding Shift, I select all the faces and convert the entities. Extrude this sketch by 84mm and untick merge result so that they're all separate bodies. For the other side of the Ferris wheel, I need to mirror it. There are other ways I can do this, such as move and copy or sketch and convert entities. So to mirror the part, I need to add a new plane. Using the front plane, select reference geometry and space the new plane 46mm away. Then using the mirror feature, select the wheel side body. A preview should appear like this. Make sure the plane is centered to the poles and OK the feature. With the part finished, I can add the decals. Selecting the wheel side bodies in the Solid Bodies drop-down menu, go to the Edit Decal icon and browse for the white decal. Open it and project it to cover the bodies. Go to Mapping, select Projection in the drop-down menu so that the decal window appears, and drag it to cover the wheel. For the front of the wheels, select the front face, Edit Decal, and browse for the Ferris wheel front decal. To fix it into position, I use Mapping again, Projection, and change the dimensions of the decal to 180mm, unticking the Fixed Aspect Ratio box. Then just rotate the decal by 30 degrees. In the Selected Geometry box, select the back face of the wheel so that it projects onto both faces. I OK the decal once I'm happy with its placement. Next, I'm going to colour each rod with the decals, matching the rod colour to the opposite spot. There should be a red, orange, yellow, mint, blue and lilac rod, in that order. Once all the decals are on, save the part as Ferris wheel and close it. Moving on to the Ferris wheel handle, start a new part and sketch onto the right plane. Draw a 124mm vertical line. This will be the edge of a revolve sketch. Draw a 17.5mm line onto one end. Then a 10mm line going inwards. Draw a 7.5mm line upwards from the line. Then a 104mm horizontal line, joining it back up to the centre line. Make the shorter lines construction sketches and join the lines here. Repeat the sketch on the other side. Use the centre line to draw a 12mm guideline. Using the guide point, I sketch up from the revolve line by 12.5mm, then inwards by 10mm, joining it back up to the line. Trim away the inner sketch lines and repeat the same sketch on the other side. And to revolve the sketch, just tick yes on the warning. It will close the sketch automatically when I select the centre line for the revolution axis. Fillet the back face of the revolve by 1mm and then start a new sketch onto the front face of the revolve. Using the slot sketch tool and starting from the circle centre, draw the slot 45mm by 20mm wide. Extrude the slot sketch by 10mm and merge it into the part, flipping the direction of the extrusion to look like this, creating a handle. Fillet the face of the extrusion by 1mm. Finally, sketch a 10mm circle onto the handle face. Use the midpoint of the slot extrusion here and extrude the sketch by 10mm, merging the result, and again fillet the top face by 1mm. To add a wood appearance to the handle, select Edit Appearance. I'm using the polished ash finish, but I'm resizing the appearance using mapping, projection, and typing 25mm into the width box. Both the dimensions will change because fixed aspect ratio is ticked. This will make the wood grain smaller. You can also change the direction of the wood grain by typing it in. Save the part as the wheel handle and close the part. I'm going to move on to the Ferris wheel base. Now again, open a new part and sketching onto the front plane, draw up from the centre axis using the centre line by 165mm. Draw a 28mm circle and move it using Move Entities to the top of the centre line. Then draw a 16mm circle in the centre of that. Use the midpoint line and sketch from the axis an 82.5mm line, creating a 165mm line along the bottom. Select the line for construction, then join up the sides of the outer circle to the bottom guide points, back up to the circle. Trim away the inner part of the circle like this, and use the sketch fillet tool to fillet the two bottom corners by 5mm. For the inner shape, delete the guide line and sketch a new guide 15mm up from the centre. Using the midline sketch again, sketch 35mm from the top of the guide, making it a 70mm line. Again, select the line for construction. Draw a centre line from the middle of the line by 120mm and join up each point using the line sketch, creating a triangle. You then need to fillet all three corners of the triangle by 2.5mm and extrude the sketch by 6mm. Sketching onto the front face, select midline and check for construction. Starting from the middle of the axis, I draw a 75mm line. Make sure the overall line length is 150mm and use it to draw a 10 by 150mm rectangle. Extrude the rectangle by 92mm, unticking merge result. We're going to fill the two side edges of the base extrusion by 1mm to soften it. I'm also going to mirror the stand side using a new plane, 52mm off the front plane. Then mirror the side body like this. Moving on to decals, select the side bodies of the base in the feature tree, the edit decal icon, and browse again for the white decal. Open the decal and cover both sides. Then in the same way as the Ferris wheel, add the Ferris wheel base decal to the two outer faces of the base using projection. Finally, I'm adding the polished ash appearance to the base, shrinking the wood grain again using mapping and typing 25mm into the size boxes. Once it's done, save the part as the Ferris base and close it. The last part is the Ferris wheel carts. Start a new part Sketch onto the front plane and draw a 15mm circle with a 7mm inner circle. Use a centre line to draw a 42mm line down from the bottom of the circle. Take the midpoint line and draw a 30mm horizontal line from the end of the guideline. The overall length of the line should be 60mm. Tick the box for construction. From the top of the circle, sketch a 12mm centre line downwards and to the edge of the outer circle and the other side. Then join up the other guide points with the line sketch. Trim away the inner sketch of the large circle. Edit the middle guide length to 10mm and offset the outer edges of the sketch here inwards by 5mm. Draw a horizontal line from one offset to the other. Level these with the guide. Select the offset sketches and make them construction lines. And use the line sketch from the bottom point of the sketch and hover over the guide to make the yellow guides appear. Following the yellow guide line, draw upwards to the middle guide, ensuring you are along the yellow guide. Then back down the line, creating a triangle. Fillet the inner triangle corners by 2mm, then the outer bottom corners of the triangle by 5mm. Extrude this sketch by 6mm. Draw a nod to the front face of the extrusion, 3mm from the bottom. Draw a 4x48mm rectangle, placed in the centre, and extrude it by 66mm. Untick in the merge result. Then add a new plane, 39mm off the front plane, and mirror the cart side. For this part, I project the white decal onto the cart sides, and finally add the polished ash appearance to the cart base, resizing it once again to 25mm to make the grain smaller. With this part complete, save it as the Ferris cart. With all the Ferris wheel parts finished, watch part 2 of this tutorial to see how to assemble a Ferris wheel, add the tree accessories, and create a motion analysis from the model. Thanks for watching this tutorial.